Now I have my main loop working. The user can type done, or they can type in the maximum number of words and it ends appropriately. So now I'm ready to do some editing down here in my big comment. This part I've finished, and I have appropriate comments above. This one says, at this point your program should calculate which of those string objects is the longest. So right now I don't have a way to calculate anything, or I should say I can't output anything at the end because I'm not storing them in the array yet. And so when I was first reading the handout, I was noticing that in the sample program run, I'm going to have to keep track of them until the end, which means I need to get an array in place here, and I need to know what type of things are in the array and how long the array is. I have all that information, so I'm going to comment about it up top and put it into place. I have the maximum number of words in the array, and so I think right under that, I'll create the array. It's an array of strings, so that therefore I know it's going to be string bracket bracket and then words equals new string, and then I'll type in the constant. It's empty right now, has no strings in it yet. That's all I need to do to get it going. Now I just need to store it, and I could still use string current word, or I could just use my words array at the current location. Oh, but I don't know my current location yet because I'm not tracking it anywhere. So, or am I? Actually, when I start this loop, num words entered will be 0, and conveniently, 0 is the first index in any array. So therefore, I will make use of that here by indexing into my new words array with num words entered. So the reason this works, there's two reasons this works. The first reason this works is because num word entered starts at 0, so I know the first time through my while loop this is going to be a 0, and this is going to go into the first word. So that's good. Also, num word entered is going up by 1 every time through my loop. That means the next time I hit this loop, num words entered will be 1, and I'll be going into the next slot in the array. So this is great. This means that I can store those words and then echo them back at the end of my while loop. Now I have enough information to, in order to be able to provide the user with output at the end of my program, and I'm just going to build this once to make sure it builds before continuing on to the calculation of the string lengths. Oh, here we go. If current word equals, oh yeah. So I've taken out my current word variable, so it would be a good idea for me to update it everywhere with the new thing I'm using here. This one is going to be trouble because, and maybe you can see why. If I just take this and I copy it and paste it down here, it's going to be an error. You see why? Between here and here, what's changed? Num words entered has changed. It's gone up by 1. So if I want to talk about the word that the user just entered just now, I need to minus 1. When I find myself starting to do stuff like this, it's a little error prone for me, and so I think I would rather do something like what I'm about to do, which is to take back my current word to store it on the next line. And to put this back the way it was. Why am I doing this? What I noticed when I was about to go fix this was that I was about to make an error, and I can imagine that if I add code to this while loop later, then I might accidentally make that same error, just because I've put the num words entered plus plus kind of early rather than after the if statement or at the end of the loop like I currently would. So this will keep me out of trouble in that case. Let's give that a try. and I just like to make sure that my loop is still working correctly, so I'll do it a few times through. Yep. Yes.